What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host, Colonel, and most handsome dad, Garrett Morlang. And here in the virtual studio with me is the king of video games and pocket poppy, Adrian Homeboy Holmes. What's going up? Going up? What's going on, dude?
What's going up? What's going up, man?
I mixed what's up and what's going on together. I got what's going up.
Should that be a thing? Should we make that a thing?
I think from here on out, I just gotta say, what's going up, Adrian?
What's going up, man? Oh man,
it's my tired working brain. All right,
you may have just come up with something. A Super Gamer Boys a new bit that we have to run with. Yep, you know,
new bit, new T-shirt. It's that merch, baby. You know what's going up?
What's been going up with you, man? It's not gonna lie, man. It's been a little rough lately. Got a lot going on, but you know, I'm alive, and I've got this nice Mountain Dew Baja Blast gelato ice cream.
There we go.
That I decided to get for myself as a little treat.
Cream of the crop.
Because your boy's been a little down lately, but this is gonna pick me right back up. And you know what else will? Talking about the video games.
Heck yeah.
But enough about me. How have you been doing?
Oh, you mean what's
going up with you?
What's going up with me? I can't even remember what I just said. It's work's been good. You know, I got a new job. You guys all know that, but I actually had my first full week last week. It was great. Worked overtime every day. It was exhausting, but
welcome to America.
But I got a solid team over there. That's what I was telling you before the show. But I'm like, I don't know. Even though it was a little chaotic, I was so thankful for the experience because it was like. Well, you were joking around. You're like trauma bonding. It's like, but it was just like it was like a really unorganized, chaotic situation. But man, I got such an awesome team. Like everyone like kept their cool. We were still trying to have fun and like keep it light, but still like just knocking it out. We worked so hard. So I was like, oh man, I'm excited to like work with these people because that was pretty tough, and we got through it, and yeah, better for it. So. It's going good. Going good.
Liking the people you work with makes most jobs, no matter how terrible, bearable. You know what I mean? Bearable to fun.
100%. I mean, I hated Pest Control the Passion. I hated it. Every second of it. But I work with JJ. So how can I not?
There you go.
Not stick
have at least
with
a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. But I have a confession to make. So.
Please.
For the first time,
the floor is yours.
For the first time in my entire life, I would have never done it, honestly, except I got a coupon for a free one. I drove down the street after work Friday. I was like, you know, it's Friday. I'm going to treat myself. And stopped off at the old 7-Eleven and got myself a Slurpee.
Hold on.
For the very first time ever in my life.
Hold the phone. Are you telling me in your almost 31 years of life, with 7-Eleven being a thing way before either of us were a thought, you've never had a Slurpee before?
So where I grew up in New York, there, as far as I know
there was 7-Elevens out there.
Not in middle of nowhere, Podunk, New York. I don't remember a single. We had what was the gas station that we had everywhere? Quick Stop, because Quick Trip is in Wisconsin. That's a Midwest thing, but Quick Stop
is from Clerks.
I don't know. I forget what it's called, but there was like a couple gas stations around. But we didn't have 7-Elevens, not that I know of. You know, not that we ever passed by on our regular routes as a kid. So I never knew. I've heard of 7-Eleven, never knew of it until I moved out of state.
That's wild.
Like, because here in California, there's like 2 on every street.
Like,
where even in Wisconsin,
I live a minute and a half walk from one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we have one right down the road here. Even even in Wisconsin, I lived there for quite a few years. I feel like they're around there, but not a lot of them. But yeah, California, it's insane. There's so many 7-Elevens. But yeah, I had a coupon for free Slurpee, small Slurpee. I'm like, you know what? I love ices. Like, that's my favorite. It's top tier to me. I was like, let's try the competitor. Let's see what this is all about. And I tried it. And honestly, I think I like ices more, but for like even I got it for free, but even when you just buy one outright, it's only like $1 for a small, like for
Slurpees
$1.
are no slouch, man.
I can't complain. Like this is amazing. Ices are so freaking expensive. $1 for a Slurpee. Like I can't complain. This is great.
And on July 11th every year, it's free Slurpee Day because it's 7-Eleven.
Oh, that makes sense. On my brother's birthday.
So now that you're in the club, you got to put a thing on your calendar for next July.
Yep.
Make sure you get in there and get one.
Got to do it. Happy birthday, Jake. It's my brother. I'm having a Slurpee in your honor. Not that he's dead or anything.
No.
But heck yeah. But yeah, it was good. I got the standard blue raspberry. That's my top favorite for ices as well. I was like, you know what? Let's compare it 1-to-1. Compare my favorite to my favorite. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I was surprised. Let's say that.
Wow, man, you just blew my mind, to be honest.
Almost 31 years of life in my very first Slurpee.
Not a Slurpee. Icy, okay. I feel like Icy is, you know what? An Icy is probably more universal. Now, you've had Ices as a child, correct?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, I've had ices. Love ices. Because you can get those at like Target or movie theaters. So like those are the two main places around us where you'd get them. Is like, okay, you'd go to the movie theater and pay $15 for a small, or you go to Target and pay like $4 or $5 or whatever. Yeah, Slurpees, no deal. Crimson over on YouTube in the chat says, can confirm. What the heck? There's a fucking mosquito in my face. Can confirm. I live on the East Coast and 7-Elevens are not common around here, at least in my area. I too have not had a Slurpee. So yeah, East Coast. Missing out on the 7-Eleven over there.
That's a thing. I learned about Wawa for the first time when I went to go visit my brother in Florida. I guess that's a big thing over on the East Coast. I heard the name before, but I had never seen it actually. And apparently it's a big deal. So maybe, we learn a little something each day, I guess.
Learn a little bit every day. But yeah, so that was a fun adventure this last week. I just wanted to share with you fine folks. Another first for Garrett.
Hey, look, you're getting a whole bunch of firsts, bro. You're living life. All right. You're experiencing, you're learning new things. That's what life's all about.
Should we just rename the show? It'd just be about all the
Garrett
things I did for the
first time. X as in like X thing, not ecstasy. Just want to clear that up.
I mean, there's always a first time.
You're a grown man. Do what you want, you know?
We got a new spin-off show here, getting out of the gaming realm and getting into more
psychedelics.
Psychedelics. Good vibes with Garrett. Bring it back.
Make it
It's a totally different format. Totally different.
That was good vibe. This is great vibes with Garrett. This is an upgrade. Or it's Patreon exclusive.
Or it's the same. It's the same show, but yeah, I'm just high on psychedelics. I'm over there trying to paint minis, and I'm like, whoa, this is wild.
I swear this thing just moved, man.
This thing's talking.
It just moved.
This thing's talking to me, man.
Talking to me, man.
Oh no. Good stuff. All right. I guess we should talk about video games tonight at some point, huh?
Maybe.
Oh, today we're going to be talking about the PlayStation State of Play announcements. Pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly good. Mm-hmm. How a new law forces digital game stores to tell the truth. Not that they've been hiding it really that much, but apparently California thinks so. Kojima is entering his next phase. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers, Bumble Smash and Kojima01, and our super gamer sponsors, Julie Bates, Mama Mare, Carrie, and David Matthews. If you want to be awesome just like those folks, head over to patreon.com/supergamerboys where you can support us starting at just $1 a month. That's right. $1 each and every month gets you episodes early and ad-free, such as this show, access to our Patreon exclusive shows, such as Super Later Boys, early seasons of Super Gamer Book Club, etc., etc. There's more perks that we'll talk more about later on in the show. But I do want to give a big ol' shout out to Jack Sriracha, Yate, and DJ Trooz for allowing us to use their music on the show. Tonight, we're listening to Jack Sriracha and Yate. I updated the playlist with some new Jack Sriracha songs that I'd listened to when they came out earlier this year, throughout the year, because there's been a few kind of releases throughout the year. But I kept forgetting to add them to the playlist, so I finally added them today. So they are in the rotation So if you notice a new song, it's because it's new. So
you know who I needed to give a nice talking to, a nice grab by the collar? Trouser Schnauzer. Has he put out any music lately?
No.
What's he been doing?
Streaming, dude. He streams nonstop. I get notified. We have the community notifications on our Discord.
Yeah, I know he streams,
and it's just like nonstop. It's like,
but he also makes music, and it sounds like he ain't been doing that in a while. No wonder he hasn't been in our rotation lately. What's going on, Trouser? We need some new jams, some new tunes. Good brother.
We need Digi Jams Volume 2.
No, Trooz and Chill 2. That's what we need.
Trooz and Chill. That's
Trooz and Chill. Yeah,
that's a favorite one. That's a favorite of mine as well. Crimson over on YouTube says SGB and Breaking Bad crossover. The crossover we never knew we needed. I mean, psychedelics and meth are very different things.
Hand in hand.
Do they?
I mean, ask Kojima. He'll tell you.
I feel like that's a leap, but
it's not. I said ask Kojima.
Okay.
When he has a girl who breathes through her skin in one of his games, I don't think that's too far out of the realm of, possibility.
Oh, man. All right, it's now time to check the mail. And this week, all we got was a form submission over on our website, supergamerboys.com, using Ye Old Form Submission. I should rename the form that on the page. This is
Ye
Old Form Submissions. It says, Rangers ready. Well, boys, with the knowledge that the PS5 Pro is here. Sorry, this is from Ranger, or Ranger, as we've come to know him as. If you didn't pick up on that. With the knowledge that the PS5 Pro is here, and it is a very real thing, it has me thinking. I recall that when the PS4 Pro first came out, I was very tempted to purchase. However, it always felt like by the time the PS4 Pro arrived, the talk was already circling around the PS5. Granted, if something happened to my PS5, yes, I would go out and immediately get a PS5 Pro. But with all the current talk about AMD already prepped to provide the chips for the PS6, Sony stating the PS5 is on the latter stage of the life cycle, etc., I wonder. And here's my question for the week. I know people are talking about future-proofing, etc., with the PS5 Pro, but are they really future-proofing anything? For example, when you look at the PS4 Pro to PS5, the DLC for Horizon Forbidden West and Final Fantasy Remake DLC were PS5 only. Now, I would have been furious if I expected my PS4 Pro to carry me into the PS5's first year or two of life cycle with certain games being released on both systems, only to find out after I purchased these games, nope, we can't get all the game if you're still on the previous system. What do you think? So I think his question here, if I'm piecing this together, is
I think I heard him too.
Kind of maybe twofold.
What do you think?
Is purchasing the PS5 Pro really future proofing when it kind of sounds like PS6 is on the doorstep? And then the second one is how would our feelings be purchasing, say, the PS5 Pro and then finding out like, hey, PS6 stuff's coming out, and whether it's games or DLC, he'd kind of talk specifically more about DLC, not being able to play it. Like imagine, like I guess that makes sense. Like because both of those games came out on PS4, but imagine not being able to play the DLC, being locked out of DLC in that sense.
Right.
He has a couple PSs here. PS, the Penguin is fantastic, and it's kind of like the Gotham Sopranos.
That's what I've been hearing. I need to catch up on that.
I need to check it out.
I love the Batman.
The Batman was incredible, and I was worried about Penguin because a lot of the critics' reviews at first started coming out, and it was getting really bad reviews at first, and then I kind of forgot to check back in on reviews. So I'm excited to hear that the Ranger's liking it, and I need to. I'm really excited about that one. Then PPS. Seriously, is it me or does Mark Cerny completely give off Dana Carvey vibes? LOL. Honestly, Ranger. 100%. Every time I see a video or a picture of Mark Cerny, I picture Dana Carvey from from
SNL.
This is going to be really funny. My only experience, like my only memory of Dana Carvey is the movie Master of Disguise. That's my only connection to Dana Carvey.
of the worst movies ever made.
We love that movie so much as like our family. Our family love that movie so much. We watched it all the time. Like that was like one of those like it was Friday night, pizza movie night. What are we gonna watch?
What are we watching for the 15th time? You already know it, Dad. Master of Disguise.
If there was nothing good at Blockbuster that night, then we were turning
good
on
at Blockbuster versus Master of Disguise. Did you hear what you just said?
I said if there was nothing good at Blockbuster.
That's impossible. There was always something better than Master of Disguise at Blockbuster. Stop it. Honestly, you probably got that movie so much that the Blockbuster employees are like, do you just want to keep it? You're the only one that rents this one.
We
you want to keep it?
We purchased a copy. We had our own copy. Don't you worry. We own that. We own that VHS tape. 100%.
I bet you do.
We wore that tape into the ground. It's such a good movie.
Oh my God. It's good. Have you seen it recently?
No, I haven't seen that movie in probably 20 years.
You probably shouldn't, so it'll remain a fond memory to you. So that way you don't go, what is this garbage that we've been watching for during our most formative years?
Do you see the chat? Do you see the chat or Crimson over on YouTube? Hold up now. What is a slander for the greatness that is Master of Disguise, Adrian?
He's just doing a bit. He's doing a bit.
I'm not the only one.
There's no way you think that movie is good. Stop. I'm not going along with this. I'm not validating this. But anyway.
But yes, Mark Cerny looks like Dana Carvey.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I think he knows that too. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they were related in some way.
He leans into it for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I'll answer. So,
Okay.
Ranger, I know you're a very smart cookie. So I hope that you know that I don't mean like to be what's the word? Over explaining, I guess. But and I'm sure you already know this too. But by the time we get whatever system is out on store shelves, the next one has already been in R&D. Mm-hmm. So like when we got PS5 back in 2020, right? Before PS5 even hit the shelves, Sony was already doing R&D and doing planning for PS6. PS5 Pro was always a stopgap, and then they plan way out for PS6 because they have to figure what kind of chipsets, what kind of RAM that might exist at that time, or what might exist now that will be low enough in price that they can incorporate it into future systems, right? So future proofing is, it's almost a fantasy. Like you can't really ever do it because the next thing is always already in development, right? So if you buy a PS5, you might as well, unless you're a super enthusiast, or like you said, if something happens to you, like if something were to happen to my PS5, I would buy a Pro. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense to buy another regular PS5 if a Pro is coming out, even if I know PS6 is a couple years around the corner, because I can always, sell it and put the cash towards PS6. But yeah, no, you have to buy things now with technology with the idea of the next thing is like for example, I just got the new iPhone, right? Before I even got this phone, I'm pretty sure Apple already has plans for the next 2 or 3 iPhones.
Yeah.
Going down the product line, because these companies are billion-dollar companies that have to have forecasts. They have to have reports for their investors of, we're thinking of doing this with this phone, and then the next year we're thinking of doing this with this phone, so it's going to cost this much, but we expect this much in return, so on and so forth, right? Because you want the people who are giving you money to know that you have a secure plan for return on investments for years to come, so they don't pull their investments. So they have to have these kinds of plans. So there's no way you can future-proof if you already know, or if everybody are, not everybody, of course, we're, in the sphere of, we care about this stuff a lot. But for us, you can't ever buy something and think, oh, this is going to be it. This is going to last me. This is X, Y, and Z, right? Because you have to know that the next thing is always already in planning.
Yeah, 100%.
And then,
there's not really ever, there's no way to really get ahead of it. I mean, the only way to quote unquote get ahead of it or future proof is by not future proofing, but by just being content with what you have. Well, day one, or just being like content with what you have. Like, I'm fine with having an old thing. That's fine. Like, so not actually future proofing, but it's just like, instead of like, like I used to be like all about like, all right, let's, upgrade to the new this or that and anything whenever it came out, like my phones and stuff like that. Now I'm got to the point where I'm like, maybe I'm just fine with this one for a couple years, like I could technically upgrade, but it's also nice to not have payments on a phone for a little bit, not be constantly paying, that's $20 or $30 a month or whatever it is. So, so I don't know. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. You've explained it well, Adrian, but there is no future proofing, unfortunately, with technology. It's developing so freaking fast. Yeah. Like as soon as you buy, it's just like buying a new car. As soon as you drive off a lot, like it depreciates so much. Like as soon as you take that box home, like it's the time in value. The time is ticking, and the clock isn't very long on electronics, unfortunately.
So basically, if you want something, get what you want. Have the experiences you want with it, and just realize that it's not going to be the newest thing for very long. Mm-hmm. And
as far as the second question now, I was
gonna say, and even if it's not the newest thing, if you're fine with it, who cares? You know what I mean? If you're still having fun with it, knock your socks off.
Yeah. As far as the second part of that, though, I could totally like that it wasn't an issue for me because I upgraded to the PS5, not right away, but pretty soon afterwards. But that would be kind of frustrating. Like, imagine getting a game on PS4, in this case, like Horizon Forbidden West, and then DLC coming out and being like, sorry, you can't play the DLC. Like, that's, I don't know. And even Final Fantasy Remake, is a little different because technically they remastered the whole game. Like they did the integrated edition. So it was basically like the pro version, because they already had like a pro version for the PS4 Pro, and then which was like the base game. And then basically they took the pro version and like made that better for PS5 and added the DLC. So it's like, all right, I can kind of see that because it was essentially like a new SKU of the game. But with something like Horizon Forbidden West, it's like, oh, I don't know, like that. I get they're trying to get people to move to the new console, but it also feels dirty. Like, don't put the game on that console in the first place. Then you should have just been a PS5 exclusive like it was supposed to be when they announced it, right? They said this game is only going to be on PS5.
We believe in generations.
And then last minute is they brought it to PS4, and then they don't even get the whole experience. It's like, that's kind of
well. See, that's crappy. Where that specifically right there is where I differ. Right? I think having DLC as an incentive for you to upgrade, I don't think that's necessarily slimy. And I'll explain. Right? Number one, as long as they give you, like, if the full game that you get on PS4 is the exact same as the full game that you get on PS5, I don't think you're getting cheated out of anything. Right? Because you're still getting that full game experience. And DLC is always optional. Right? It's always been add-on content that you can get separately, but it doesn't affect the main game being complete. Now, we have had cases where you can tell that things that were put out as DLC for games before were clearly taken out of the main game to make them DLC. From what I understand, I'll use our example case with Horizon. Horizon is a complete experience from start to finish. And then the DLC adds on top of that experience. But you still get a full game with Horizon on its own if you never got any DLC with it. Yeah. So for me, if you get that game on PS4, you got the game. You got the full game, nothing was cut. And everything else is an incentive for you. Hey, if you want this new content, if you're that big of a fan of Horizon, and you wanna get this content, buddy, it's been 10 plus years at this point. It's time to move on up to the next thing. And if you do that, that's your incentive. That's your reward to do it, is you get more Horizon stuff that you couldn't get before.
Yeah.
You know?
I
So
guess
that's the way I see it.
My thought though too is like I'm at like, because I already own Horizon on PS4, but then when I come to PS5 I have to purchase it, you know, and some games allow you to do an upgrade for like 10 or 15 bucks, but then like,
now that's BS. I 100% agree that is BS, because
that's
Xbox,
what'll happen.
Xbox just doesn't.
Yeah, because that's what'll happen in this situation though. So like they own Horizon Forbidden West for PS4. Okay, I'll upgrade. Oh, I gotta pay the $15 or $10 to upgrade plus the $20 for the DLC or something like that. So like, like that just seems that part I agree. Slimy.
That is slimy. That is slimy. However, I'm talking in an ideal way of you buy the PS4 one, when you get a PS5, you get the game upgraded, and then you just have to pay for the DLC. That's the ideal.
Right.
Unfortunately,
it's not how Sony works.
That's not how Sony works.
Yeah.
But with Microsoft, if you buy an Xbox One game and you get a Series console, they just give you the Series version.
Yeah. Yeah. That's,
you know what I mean?
It's such an amazing thing Xbox does over there, where you have it once, you buy it once, you have it on for everything. I mean, some of their games too, you buy an Xbox and it's even available on PC. It's not as common, but it's like, that's amazing. It's like, you can just go from your PC to your Xbox Series X to your Xbox One X to your whatever you want. It's great.
Yeah. So no, I think the idea of making DLC exclusive to new gen consoles, I don't think there's, you know, it's inherently wrong. I think Sony's implementation of it is incorrect. If it were the ideal case, I think that's the best way to do it, because you have to get people as a business to want your new thing. And what way to better do it for fans of that series than to say, hey, you want more of this thing and you want to see this game better than it ever has been? Cop that new hardware, you get a new version, and you get extra stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Not a bad idea. Just unfortunately, Sony's
it don't work like that.
Sony's greedy.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ranger, for writing in. Appreciate ya. And if you want to write in, you can go to ye old form submission at supergamerboys.com, or you can just join us on Discord. It's a lot
really
more
trying
fun.
to make that work, huh?
I just want people to realize that it's old, or it's archaic. It's on its way out, but Ranger does it just I don't know, because he thinks he's funny. He thinks it's funny.
You know he respects the classics.
Yeah, I guess that's fine. That makes sense. I'm okay with that. But no, you can also join us over at Discord, supergamerboys.com/Discord, where you can write in over there. We have a channel for submitting to the mailbag, but you can also chat with us during the week about what games you've been playing, what shows you've been watching, what movies you've been watching. If you've been finishing any games, you could enter our backlog challenge, which been looking awfully light in there. There was some competition for a while, and then everyone's dropped off. I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm the only one finishing stuff, which is surprising.
I'm gonna start playing stuff soon. Give me a minute,
because I don't finish games. That's my whole shtick, and now I feel like I'm like almost winning this competition. It just seems wrong.
Look, I'm getting ready to lock in with my Switch here in a little bit, okay? And then it's over for you, because I'm about to be knocking these indie games out like this.
Okay.
And then you're gonna be sweating trying to keep up.
Yeah, probably.
Speaking of Sony, apparently PSN is down right now. Just a heads up.
Yeah, I saw someone earlier in the chat, but it just didn't seem pertinent for that part of the show yet. But yeah, I saw it was actually I'm gonna butcher this name over on YouTube. Demetric Davis said PlayStation service is down. PlayStation service is down. He said it twice. Urgent. But yeah.
It's 2011. That's 2011 all over again.
It's 2011. It's the end of the world.
We're getting a free game.
Y2K. All right. So that's it for the mailbag. Now it's time. Oh, by the way, Adrian, last week, you son of a gun. I knew something was up. I was like, you did something weird with your mouth. There's no other syllables in the word news, but somehow I was just like, but there's no way for me to know. I couldn't prove it. And then when I edited the show, you got me.
Here, I'll give you a full.
Now I can never trust you again. You know, once trust is broken, it's hard to rebuild.
That's why I said I'll let you watch this time.
Okay. All right.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, go ahead. It's now time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy news. See?
We'll see. Fool me once.
I don't know how I can cut that, but
fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I hope you don't fool me a second time, because I'm gonna look like an idiot.
I'm gonna tell you I'm not.
All right. Okay, here we are with this week's nerdy nudes. Is it working? Yay, it's working. This first news story comes to us from the IGN staff. I've never seen that before, where it just says IGN staff.
They were just like, we all want to write an article.
So. The entire IGN staff got together to write PlayStation State of Play September 2024, everything announced. Sony's latest PlayStation live stream has come to an end, and we've gathered all the news and trailers from the event today. So September Sony State of Play yesterday focused on updates about upcoming PS5 and PSVR 2 games. We got a closer look at how the PlayStation 5 Pro is enhancing games. You can dive into all the latest PlayStation news and trailers from the show below, and we will continue to cover any new developments about these games on IGN as we learn more. All right. It's here at the very top of the news story. The big dog announcement was Ghost of Tsushima sequel called Ghost of Yate. I assume that's how it's pronounced. And let me tell you,
looks phenomenal.
Looks phenomenal. As Erika Ishii as the lead, which is amazing.
Shout out to Erika. I've been following Erika for a long time and enjoying her content, and I'm ecstatic that she's gotten a big break like this. So
yeah,
I am over the moon for her.
I know her just from like College Humor Dropout stuff, and then like Dimension 20. Like I've seen, like I love her in Dimension 20. All of her characters are always great, D&D and stuff like that. And so to see her here, I was just like, whoa! And it's like actually her. Like it's actually just a scan of her in the game. I'm like, heck yeah, it's so cool. Yeah,
I'm so proud. So congrats, Erika. I cannot wait to play this game.
Stoked. Sequel to Ghost of Tsushima will be arriving in 2025. The new game will be titled Ghost of Yate and focus a new protagonist, Atsu. The announcement trailer gave us a pretty good look of what we can expect from the upcoming game from Sucker Punch. Beyond the new game itself, the chief executive at Sony has stated they want to expand into other media, turning this franchise into movies, TV shows, and other spin-offs. We also got Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered announced.
Okay.
So we're getting the Last of Us treatment now with Horizon Zero Dawn. So there's going to be about 3 versions of this probably over the next couple of years.
You know what?
They're going to come out. They're going to come out with Horizon Zero Dawn Part 1 in about 3 years, and then there'll be a collection with all the remastered ones again.
Wow. I thought about this, and I can't really make too much fun of it anymore, unfortunately, because when the new Switch comes out and they bring out Breath of the Wild DX running at 60 and with all the upgraded textures and stuff like that, I'm gonna be over the moon about it. So I can't in good conscience make fun of a Horizon Zero Dawn remake when I'm getting ready to do the same thing and pop off for a game that came out that same year. So Horizon fans, have at it. I'm going to be on the other side of the fence doing the same thing. So,
It does say anyone who owns a PS4 version will be able to upgrade for just $9.99. So that's exciting because I own the PS4 version. So it's like, all right, I can throw $10 over there and play the PS5 version on PS5. That's fine. It's when they try to, gouge you for the new version. Because with Last of Us, I think there was an upgrade, but it was more. It wasn't just $10. It was more like 20 or 30. They wanted to charge you for an upgrade. I'm like, you can.
Gee, thanks.
Shove it. The remaster is arriving on October 31st, 2024, and will include 10 hours of re-recorded dialogue as well as visual enhancements. That's wild. They actually went through the trouble of re-recording all the dialogue.
Well, it actually is a full-on remaster. I'm not mad at it then.
Yeah.
I thought it was just the same game, but like running better. So.
Yeah, I mean, visual enhancements and they re-recorded all the dialogue, which that was one of the biggest gripes, right? It's like every time you went into dialogue, the dialogue sounded stale and also the animations were horrible, right? Like, that's all I remember.
I saw something somewhere where they're like doing the same thing as Forbidden West, with NPCs, because that's the one game where NPCs, like, they don't just move like Fallout, where they maybe move a hand around to let you know that they're talking to you. Like they went in and animated the NPCs and some made some of them walk around and have facial expressions and all that. So if they can do that and bring that tech to 100% do that.
That's what it sounds like they're doing. So that's awesome. That's great. That's worth a $10 upgrade.
You joke, but it helps with immersion.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, I totally agree, because what little I played of that game, like that was one of my biggest, not gripes, but like the biggest things I noticed is every time you get in a conversation with someone, it's like, why are they like, or like they're facing this way, but like their eyes are looking at you and they're just talking.
Bethesda
like,
face.
Weird.
Yeah.
It's like, what is happening? Why are you talking to me? Like, just turn and look at me, face me. The next biggest announcement, Monster Hunter Wilds release date revealed.
Let's go. Ooh, let's go.
Air horns.
Bow.
Monster Hunter Wilds is officially coming on February 28th, 2025. The latest addition to the Monster Hunter series will be arriving on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, and we already have the PC specs for the new game available. The new trailer we've included above showed off new monsters as well. Stoked for that. Excited to try Monster Hunter again. I'm glad it's given me some time, because like I have a lot of other games I can be playing right now. So it's like, all right, I got a few months to finish those up and then jump into that with you. Hopefully with you.
We can still do Rise. It's on sale all the time.
I own it.
Or I feel like I was gonna say it's on PlayStation Plus.
I don't. Oh yeah. I feel like I bought it somewhere. Either on, it might have been on my Switch.
We can do it there too. I have it there too.
And
my Switch is hooked up.
I feel like I bought it somewhere because you had talked about like, oh, we can play together, and I got it when it was on sale, and then I never actually. I don't think I ever told you that I got it.
Either Crimson or Kojima was getting it too, so that's a 3-man right there. We only need one more person.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Get into some Monster Hunter Rise before Wilds, get warmed up. But yeah, I'm very excited about that. I didn't actually. I'm going to be honest, when I was watching, because I watched the state of play like the next day, I skipped the trailer for Monster Hunter Wilds. I skipped to the end and saw the release date because I was watching before I was heading to work. I'm like, I got to finish this before I go to work. So I started skipping through stuff. But the trailers we've seen before, this game looks freaking amazing. So very stoked for that. Astrobot DLC announced for this fall, 2024. Astrobot arrived on PS5 earlier this month, and we gave it a sparkling 9 out of 10 review. The game is receiving a free DLC sometime in fall that has 5 new online speedrun levels and 10 new bots to rescue. One of them better be Gex. That's all I gotta say. So far,
no, they're gonna be Final Fantasy. Why is Square Enix being so weird?
This game should have been a 10 out of 10, but unfortunately, it gets the old 1 out of 10 from Garrett because there's no Gex. So,
did you notice that there are no Square Enix characters in here?
Really?
No.
None?
Not that I can think of.
Wasn't.
I didn't see any Final Fantasy characters in here. And Final Fantasy is huge with PlayStation.
Really? There wasn't like a Cloud or anything?
No. Astrobot Square Enix.
It's crazy. Yeah, no, that is insane. If there isn't. No, there definitely was a Cloud. Because I feel like
No, look, here's articles about it too. Astrobot Studio finds it difficult to comment on why Square Enix characters were notably absent. We really respect the choice of each publisher, it said. So there were no Square Enix characters. None. Why?
Oh, I'm thinking of Astra's Playroom. Cloud is in that. Because I was like, I could have swore I just saw Cloud recently, but it was Astra's Playroom. My son was playing through it, and there's a part where he's swinging the sword around. If you go up and hit him, he like drops the sword and it sticks to the ground like it does at the, like it is at the menu for Final Fantasy VII. But yeah, that's Playroom.
There's no Nier. There's no
crazy. That's
there's
weird.
No Kingdom Hearts,
that's weird that they were
Final Fantasy.
That's weird that they were cool with it in Astra's Playroom, but then for Astrobot, they're like, nah, not this time. Unless they're planning on it being DLC.
I guess, but like, I don't know. That's just it's such a huge part of PlayStation history to kind of leave out. Like,
yeah, That is
I don't.
wild.
Maybe Square wanted to get paid for it or something. Unlike
Right.
everybody else who was like, yeah, just use our stuff. It's cool.
Yeah, the first
You know?
the first time they were cool with it, and then they're like, "Oh wait, you're gonna try to make more like that? That was a free packet. Now you're trying to make money? No, sorry." Either way, excited about that. 10 new bots.
Yeah.
I still got to work on that platinum. I finished the game, and I was wanting to finish Space Marine 2 first, and then go back to Astrobot and finish the platinum.
Do it.
But
It's pretty straightforward. It's an easy wrap up.
I'll talk about it in What You Plan, but I got distracted because, well, my internet was down in my office, and as you guys all know, I usually play my PlayStation on my Steam Deck. I do the remote play. And so since there's no office or internet down here, I couldn't do remote play. Heaven forbid I had to actually come down to my office and play the PlayStation in person. So now that the internet is back up and running, kind of, sort of, then I will hopefully be getting back to Astrobot because, yeah, I got the platinum in Playroom. I need to get the platinum in this game as well. I think that's my only platinum is Astro's Playroom. This would be my second one ever. Yeah, I've never cared an ounce for any trophies until Astro's Playroom because it was so attainable. Like I looked at the list, I'm like, oh, this is so easy to get, and I love that game so much. And same thing with Astrobot. I'm like, all right, it's the least I could do, you know. This is the game I was telling you about, Adrian, before we were talking about. We couldn't remember the name. The Midnight Walk has been announced.
Yes.
From the creators of Lost and Random comes a claymation style game with some rather Tim Burton-esque art. We do not have a release window for the Midnight Walk, but you will be able to play it on PSVR 2 or PS5. So it's the same game, but available both in VR and standard. And holy smokes, this game looks so freaking
good.
I'll have the trailer playing here while we're talking about it, but it's just, I don't know. It's so incredible. I'm loving this new kind of type of game that's coming out more and more because a lot of people are doing it where it's just, like whether it's, I mean, PlayStation kind of stuck. I won't say they pioneered it, but I think back to like Tearaway and stuff like that, like where everything was like paper, or I guess back at like Nintendo, they had like Yoshi's Woolly World and Yoshi, like different Yoshi games and Paper Mario and stuff like that. But there's something about this that's just like it hardly looks animated. Like it looks like stop motion, real claymation, like animated. It is so well done. It is so good and so creepy. I love it.
That's the best part.
It's so
be weird,
creepy.
be creepy. I want that.
Love it, love it, love it. So it says it's from the creators of Lost and why doesn't it just say who the studio is? Tell me. Apparently Lost and Random. A trailer just popped up right here. It looks very similar, honestly. Actually, no. Lost and Random looks more like Psychonauts. It looks like a lot. I think
this. Yeah, no. I think the studio is like something Moon, Rise, High Moon, something.
I don't know. This article doesn't even say. It's funny. It's like, why can't you tell me who made this freaking game? Anyways, look forward to that one. That game looks so good. Let's see. Hell Is Us gets a new gameplay trailer. I don't really care about that. Do you care about that?
What? You don't like Hell Is Us? I thought it looked interesting.
Maybe I just don't remember what it is. The new trailer for Hell Is Us showcased another horror game that looked a bit like a Souls-like game. It included sword combat, a drone on your shoulder. It does not have a release date yet for PlayStation. This game will also be arriving on Xbox Series X and S consoles. I don't remember. Oh no. Okay, this is the one with the weird like faceless monsters. Like they look like they look like the things from Kingdom Hearts. That's what the first thing I thought. The nobodies. Yeah, this looks like it could be interesting. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. But that's just me. I don't know. You were interested in it though?
Yeah, it looked pretty weird, pretty different. I'm into it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it was just like weird because it was like sci-fi, but like it's all sword fighting, which is interesting, like sci-fi swords. But then I don't know. I feel like the monsters, like it's trying to be like creepy horror, but they didn't. You know what? It's some of the designs of the monsters and like their attacks, like I'm looking at the trailer here, like the way like their different like attacks, abilities, and whatever magic or whatever it is, I don't know what it is, force they're using. It reminds me of like Control. Like it almost feels like a Control clone a little bit.
Maybe. Okay, I can live with that. But you know what?
Purely design wise, obviously like gameplay wise, it's going to be very different because it's kind of like sword combat, Souls like, you know, varied. But it, like to me, is just like, oh, it almost feels like they're almost not stealing, but like it's very heavily inspired by some of like the enemies in Control and stuff like that, which is
right. I'd be interested in giving it a shot.
Yeah, if there's like a demo, I definitely give it a shot. But
right, I hope there's a demo because I feel like, I don't know, I have a pretty, something in my gut tells me this might be something.
Yeah.
So
well, stay tuned. We don't have any release date at this point, but an interesting trailer nonetheless. Pale World is out on PS5 today. even though the release in Japan will be postponed due to the ongoing lawsuit.
I was gonna say, Game Freak said, absolutely not.
But in the US, you can get a hold of it. I don't know how they managed that, but they did.
I feel like that game's time has come and went.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I feel like it's like, I mean, there's still a lot of people who play it, but I think the hype was purely in its blatant kind of in your face, like, Pokemon, like, very like, oh, they ripped this off, but they got away with it kind of thing. It's kind of like, haha, this is a Pokemon with guns. But once people kind of realize it's kind of all it is,
they're like us. All right, I think I've seen what the game has to offer.
Right. And there's people who love it. That's fine. You can love it. But
yeah, absolutely.
I think for most people, it's kind of like, oh, all right, that was neat. Let's move on.
Yeah, we had a fun little time with it. And then we were like, oh, this is everything. Okay.
Yep.
Have fun.
Metro Awakening VR. So if you want a game for your dead VR headset, then go pick this up for PSVR 2. Oh, it's also coming to MetaQuest or Windows. So you're fine.
I was going to say, or your live one, aka MetaQuest.
Right. Let me see. There's Lunar Remastered Collection announced for 2025.
Yes. My old man brain and heart jumped so tall when I saw this. Lunar is so good. I played it on PSP. I played a Lunar Silver Star Harmony. It's like it was essentially a remake of the a remaster of the PS1 version for PSP. Okay. Oh my God. It's such a good game. I can't wait for people to experience this for the first time, because most people will, because I'm a million years old. And most people did not have a PSP who would be picking this game up. So play Lunar if you haven't.
Looks great.
It's a fantastic game. Love it to death.
It's been announced for spring 2025. Collection will include updated visuals and widescreen support. So yeah, go check it out. Nice 2D RPG. I assume it's an RPG.
Was ahead of his time, man.
All right. TMNT Shredder's Revenge Radical Reptiles DLC is free and out now. So if you want more TMNT Shredder's Revenge,
already got it.
Check it out. Go play it. Free.
One of my favorite games.
Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remaster is coming this December. This is a game I think I played like a demo of one time and was like, this is fun.
It's not just me. It's not just me.
It was like, this is fun, but I don't like remember. Like I never played the full game. I was never like, oh, I need more of this kind of thing, you know? Like, I don't know.
Did this ever come out on Xbox?
Soul Reaver?
Because I feel like I played it on Xbox. The original Xbox.
Xbox, let's see. I don't think so. It just shows the remastered. Let me see. Let me go to Wikipedia.
Maybe I didn't, but I feel like I know I've played this game before. I just can't remember where. So and by played this game, I mean played the demo, but I couldn't remember if it was on Xbox or PS2.
So, could you be confusing it?
Dreamcast.
It was on Dreamcast. Yeah, PlayStation, maybe Dreamcast, and Evercade. Whatever Evercade is.
I think I might have played it on Dreamcast.
Evercade was a handheld device from 2020, apparently.
Huh.
Never heard of it.
Right.
Okay. It was directed by Amy Hennig.
Okay, so maybe I do need to look into this.
Published by Eidos Interactive, developed by Crystal Dynamics, produced and directed by and designed by Amy Hennig, written by Amy Hennig. I mean, and a bunch of other people, but that's like the main like name there.
Right, that's the name that gets me looking like, oh,
yeah,
interesting.
So that's the first game, and then the second one, Soul Reaver 2, also directed and written by Amy Hennig as well, and that's what's getting remastered. Is those first two. So
she wrote both of them.
Yeah.
Actually, I might need to take these a little seriously then.
Might need to check that one out. Sorry, my internet just went down and came back. I've got to make sure our streams are still going. They are. Everything's good. Everyone's happy. Everyone here, hopefully. Cool. Yeah. It was one of those things. Yeah. I remember like playing a demo and be like, this is neat, but never like having the itch like I need to play them. But people love them. People talk about them like this the best game that ever came out on PlayStation 1 and 2. So It's like, all right, I might need to check this out. Comes out December 10th, 2024. Comes with improved visuals for PS5 and PS4 and is arriving on the 25th anniversary of the original's release. Also be coming to Xbox Series X. Oh my
God, we're so old. Things are having 25th anniversaries, 20th anniversary.
I mean, PlayStation's doing their 30th anniversary right now.
30th anniversary, dude.
It's crazy. Absolute madness. Hitman 3 VR Reloaded. This honestly looks fun. This looks sick. Fun. It says here, it says coming to PSVR 2. I hope it comes to other places. But watching the trailer for this, I'm like, this looks like way too much fun. Like,
that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I could see that in VR being fun.
Because Hitman,
I'd be willing to try it.
Hitman, the newer Hitman games can already get real silly if you wanted to. It can also be real serious, but you can get real silly with it. But in VR, where it's just like, okay, whatever I want to do with these hands, like, oh man, I honestly really want to try that. Let's see, Fantasia Neo Dimensions arriving December 5th. I don't know what that is. Do you know? It's a new RPG coming out from the creators of
Fantasian?
Creators of Final Fantasy.
The creator of Final Fantasy. He did the original Fantasian was an exclusive for Apple Arcade, and it's a turn-based RPG. Okay. And then this is the I don't know if it's a sequel or like a DX version of it, but he's doing this, and now it's for all consoles and whatnot.
Yeah.
And PC. So.
Yeah. Looks neat. Sounds neat. Mm-hmm. Keanu Reeves is going to be headline. Well,
that's pretty cool.
Sonic X Shadow Generations DLC. So if you want to play as Keanu Reeves, go get Sonic X Shadows Generations.
That's pretty sweet. I'm not going to lie.
It is pretty awesome. Lego Horizon Adventures arrives on November 14th. I still don't know how I feel about that game. It just seems like a cash.
It's another Lego game, and I hate to say that because Lego games used to be excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent games. And I think the last good one we got was the Skywalker Saga?
I honestly have never really played a Lego game until whatever the newest Star Wars one was.
Yeah.
It came out like a year or two ago. Like I picked that up.
You missed some good gaming. Me and my brother used to play those all the time, the Lego games.
Yeah, I don't know. Just never. I think by the time they started coming out, no, that's not true. Because I don't know. By the time I knew they existed, I guess I should say, because they might have been coming out when I was a kid, but I just feel like they weren't on my radar until I was like older. And by that time, I'm like, I'm not playing a stupid kids game, you know. It's whatever. But now that I'm adult, I'm like, oh, these actually all look really sick. Like there's like
all rip, yeah.
But yeah, I missed out. And even the newest Star Wars one, like I only like played a little bit of it, and I enjoyed my time, but it was just like what went through my head is like this would be a lot of fun with my kids. And so like I kind of like put it. There's one of those things where I'm like, maybe I'll save it. So I like put it down, and now that Shep's getting better at games, he's figuring stuff out. He's been playing my 3DS a lot lately.
Smart kid.
He's been playing Minecraft on there. He's been playing Mario Maker on there. What's another one? New Super Mario Brothers. That's on there. Yeah, he's loving it. He loves that little 3DS. I kind of want to. So the biggest thing is he still hasn't learned to like read. I mean, he's just in like first grade, whatever, kindergarten, first grade, and so I haven't brought it to him yet. But I've been talking with Trudy. I'm like, I want to like, as an incentive, be like, hey, you learn to read, I'll buy you a 3DS and like load it up like mine is.
Ooh.
Because that's like the trickiest thing is like he'll start playing games. It's like, Dad, what does it say? Dad, what does it say? What does this button? What am I doing? I'm just like, I want to play my own game. Like I'm sitting here, like, because we'll sit next to each other. I'm on my Steam Deck, he's on the 3DS, and he's like, what does this say? What does this do? What does this say? And so it's like, all right, maybe like I'm fine with that, but maybe as like an incentive, like, all right, dude, you learn to read, I'll buy you your own, play whenever you want, kind of thing.
That's a good idea.
We'll see. There's a few other things, but nothing major announced. Alan Wake 2 DLC. I haven't played the original game, but
me either. I want to, but there's just so much stuff.
There's too much stuff.
I hear it's fantastic, and I'm glad it's fantastic.
Some new colors coming to PlayStation, the Chroma collection. They look all right. They kind of just, the green and the like purplish one, they just remind me of like bug eyes. Like the iridescent kind of like, or like an oil slick on water kind of thing. Like they're cool, but it's just like, I don't know. Not for me. But there's also like a pearl, like white color, like it's white, but a certain light kind of gives like a pearl effect to it. That one's honestly kind of cool. But
none of these sound like the original one, so I mean the PS1 one, so I don't really have any.
The classic collection.
The
classic collection. I did get a classic collection controller. I'm stoked about that.
But lucky dog.
But I wish they had. I didn't see it on there. Maybe they were sold out by the time I got on there, but I didn't. Well, not by the time I got through the line. I didn't see any faceplates or anything. Maybe they didn't sell any, but I would have bought faceplates for mine in a heartbeat if they had
immediately.
Classic faceplates.
I would have bought those so fast. Fast.
They might not have even had them, but if they did, they were not around by the time I got in the line. I had to wait. I had to wait like an hour and a half. I'm surprised I even got a controller. Honestly, I had to wait so long in line.
You're so lucky, dude.
Dynasty Warriors Origins is arriving January 2025, coming to PS5, Xbox Series X and S on January 17th. New trailer that came alongside the release date shows gameplay for the upcoming game as well as some combat. I don't know why I said that weird. Yeah, I'm not a Dynasty Warriors fan, but I know there's people out there who love it. It does look cool.
Hello. Yes, it is me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm feeling this one yet. I'll wait to see what word of mouth is. I am more of a classic Dynasty Warriors fan, where it's basically just like a Muso mode, and you're going and clearing the board and having to strategize your troops and all that. This feels like it's more of a story based.
Yeah.
Game, which I'm not opposed to. I don't mind them switching up the formula, but I'll wait to see if it's good and if it's worth it, and then maybe I'll look into it.
Heck yeah. Sounds good. I mean, it looks
great.
Looks great.
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty much everything that was announced. Usually we don't do that, but I figured, you know what? The other two news stories tonight, not a lot of legs. So let's fill as much time as we possibly can. Just being straight with all of you right now.
I'm fine with that.
and honestly, there was so much good stuff announced.
Yeah. Like, it was a really good state of play.
Like 95% of that we're interested in. So good on you, PlayStation. You may have, dropped the ball with the PS4 or PS5 Pro being priced at $700, but at least you put out a banger state of play the next week to kind of get us hyped for some games. So look forward to that. All right, this next news story. It's wild that this is even a thing, but here we go. California law makes change to how digital stores sell games. This is from Game Rant, written by Sarah Fields. The governor of California has signed a bill into law that will require businesses to make a change to how digital purchases of games work. The bill should help improve clarity on exactly what a customer is buying when they quote-unquote purchase a game on digital storefront. Many gamers have expressed frustration in recent times due to the way the ownership of digital games have been handled. At this point in time, game platforms can potentially remove a game from a player's account and get rid of the ability to download it at any time, regardless of whether it was purchased or not. This is in addition to recent game shutdowns where customers can no longer play a game they purchased regardless of the software on their own system. Now the bill AB 2426, which covers consumer protection, false advertising, and digital goods, has been signed into law by California Governor Newsom. The bill is essentially in addition to an existing law in California that made it illegal to do business or advertise to customers in California with misleading or false claims. This bill will build upon that, setting up strict rules that prohibit sellers from using terms like buy or purchase unless specific rules are followed. Essentially, the law just makes it so they have to be very clear you're just buying a license, and it could be lost at any time. The reason I wanted to bring this up, because it just, you tweeted about it, and I had a similar sentiment. Like, we knew this, right? Like, or are there actually dummies out there who thought, like, when I buy it, I own it, right? Like, I don't. I mean, I'm not saying it should be that way, but I'm just saying this
it is what it is.
There's no, like, this isn't, I've never bought a digital game. New. I never bought a digital game and thought like, yes, this is mine for the rest of my life. Like, I knew as soon as like I buy the next console or what X, Y, or Z, like it'll disappear one day, right? Like, obviously my kids aren't going to inherit my digital game collection, most likely. Like, it's going to disappear. So it just seems weird that we need a law to specify this. Like, was it really that confusing to people? I don't know.
This has been a thing since software has been around, to where, just like you just said, you know, when you buy a game, you are not buying that code, that IP, anything related to the actual game itself. All you are buying is the ability to access and interact with the code. You don't own the code, the ones and zeros. You don't own anything about the game. They just basically gave you a key to open the door and go and experience it, which is fine with me. I, as a digital consumer, understand that I do not own the game. I pay for access to, I pay for a license to access the content and interact with the content. But for me as a player, that's fine, because I'm not necessarily in it to own the game. I am paying to experience it. I am paying for the experience. Just like when you go to a theme park, you don't pay for it and then expect to own the roller coaster. No, I'm paying for the experience of going on the roller coaster. And if I get to go again, you know, with my ticket, if I get to go a few more times, that's fantastic. But I know what I'm paying for is the experience, is the ride. And that's how I've always felt about digital games.
And to be clear too, because I know people are going to come at us in the comments, at least for me personally, and I assume for you, that's not the way we want it to be. It would be nice if once I buy it, we own it outright. I just want to be very clear.
Absolutely.
Like, don't come at us and say we're like bootlickers or whatever. Like, no, I would prefer to own my game. But
in the way that the market is right now and has been, it's always been like that. You never have owned IP. You have never owned code. Whether you bought it from Steam, whether you bought it from a console marketplace, whether you bought it from pretty much even the ones that sell you the ones that are DRM free, that's still not your code. That's still not your IP. You are still buying a license. It's in the EULA for every single piece of software, not just games. Right. That's why they call it the end user license agreement.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even technically, when you bought physical disc copies, like there was physical disc copies, you fire it up and it has the EULA in there. And even though, like, all right, you have that disc, and that disc could potentially is essentially just a key, especially in more modern days. Obviously, back in the day, the full game was on there, and so, but even then, like, there was still EULAs around. Like, you were still licensing that copy of the disc. But like, and it's just basically in more modern times, they're actually like acting. They're finally acting on what they've been saying all along, where it's like, no, we are really just giving you a license. That's always been the case. It's just, fortunately, we were able to, with physical media, like, you do have that forever for the most part, unless they shut down servers and stuff on their end or whatever, if it's an online experience. But with the digital world, like, really, they're just acting on what's always been there. They just weren't able to do before. Like EULAs have been around forever. It's just obviously you can't shut down. You can't. Mr. Square Enix isn't going to show up at your house and snap your Final Fantasy VII disc in half or something like. Sorry,
Right.
we're revoking your license.
Right.
but at the same time, like, yeah, it's unfortunate and it sucks, but that is the way it always has been. It's just now they're able to actually act on it now that we're going more digital. So it's an unfortunate side effect of the digital age.
But it's reality, and I have to make my choices within the reality that I'm presented. You know, as far as this gaming landscape is concerned, and I chose the convenience of going digital. So if stuff disappears, I have to be okay with it. I mean, I have to be okay with it in so much as I understand how things work. Right. I'm not okay with it philosophically. I don't like the fact that my things are being taken away. It sucks because I did pay for access to it. But I also have to understand that that's how these companies work, and licenses can be revoked because rights need to be renewed, or they don't get renewed, or X, Y, or Z, you know? So, and I think that's just part of the risk with interacting with these companies who choose to do business like this. So yeah. Obviously, like, if you care about that thing, then go physical. You know, go physical.
They can't. Well, again, if you're going more retro, then go physical. Obviously, even if you go physical, like if I went out and bought a PS5 disc, unfortunately, even those half the time are just a key. Like, you still have to download the game from the server. So, but anything like pre PS4, you can go physical and you're fine. You know?
I would say anything PS2 era on back, you can go physical for, because even some PS3 games were downloads, stuff you had to download with it too.
Yeah, not as much though. Like even Metal Gear Solid 4 is all on disc. That's why I had 2 discs, right? Like I had the installation disc and then the game disc that you played off of.
The coolest install disc of all time. Yes, of course I remember that install disc.
Just watching Solid Snake for like 5 hours, smoke a cigarette while the game installed.
And that super duper PS3 rendered graphic, man.
Oh man. Uncle Gamer
didn't say a word the whole install either, just kept smoking the same cigarette. Right. So cool.
Uncle Gamer in the chat over on YouTube says, "Screw digital, physical for life." Yeah, I mean,
hey,
if you can,
I get it.
More power to you. More power to you. He asked if there's a state of play. Yes, there was. We finished talking about it just a little bit ago, so you'll have to catch that earlier on or later on. You can catch that earlier
scrub back.
Episode. Scrub back. Oh yeah, I guess on YouTube you can scrub live streams. Twitch you can't. But if you're on YouTube, you can scrub back there. All right. So that's that for that news story. It's just silly. California law makes change. It's like, that's what's new.
California law states obvious.
Grass is green, sky is blue, and digital games aren't owned by you. Do you like that rhyme I just said there? That was off the top of my head.
Man, a man of culture.
A master poet over here. All right, this last news story comes to us from Alex Stedman at IGN. Hideo Kojima signs with a major Hollywood talent agency and teases movies, anime, and more to come. Hollywood, get ready for Hideo Kojima. The Death Stranding Metal Gear creator sat down for a wide-ranging interview with Variety, published today, in which he talked about the next steps of his career and revealed a more direct tie to Hollywood. Kojima has signed with the talent agency WME, which the publication describes as his liaison in the world of TV and film. He also went into detail about the future of Kojima Productions, breaking down his plan into 3 phases. The first phase, Kojima said, was all about Death Stranding and establishing it within the games category and expand on global platforms like Apple and PC and Sony. This part is not necessarily difficult, he added. Part of that, of course, is the upcoming Death Stranding sequel, which is set to release sometime next year. But the second phase, Kojima revealed, involves different forms of media, movies, anime, TV dramas, etc. Basically expanding the game IP to other media, he continued. That's the second phase, and that's what we're aiming for next. I created Kojima Productions under the scope of digital entertainment, but I don't think it necessarily has to be a video game. We would create a new IP from a game or an anime or a film or something totally different. Anything is possible, and that's the third phase. That third phase certainly sounds a little more vague, but Kojima added that he would like to work with talented people from around the world and create something new, with digital being the key word. It could be a movie, a game, or something else entirely, he continued. I can't die until then. I don't think I'm trying to do anything too out of the ordinary. Poor Kojima is having like this existential crisis. Like, please
I need to stay alive.
Please stay alive until I can make a movie with, in Hollywood. Poor guy. Variety also asked for an update on the Death Stranding movie, which was announced late last year with A24 and Kojima Productions. But Kojima didn't reveal too much. He did confirm, however, that he won't be directing it himself, although he will supervise the plot and help them make it. As for who might direct it, Jordan Peele seems like an obvious candidate given his and Kojima's partnership on the mysterious upcoming game OD, but Kojima pointed out that he has close relationships with other big filmmakers as well, including Guillermo del Toro, Nicholas Winding Refn, and George Miller. And we always talk about doing something together. Right now, movies and games are two different branches, but pretty soon it will be very similar, he continued. So it's not about making a video game out of Nope or having Jordan adapt Death Stranding into a film. It's about making something new together. So, yeah, Kojima is in a new phase of life where he is trying to make anything and everything he possibly can. He's been trying, I mean, you said it before the show, he's been trying since like Metal Gear Solid 2 to freaking make a movie. He's always so obvious. He's always dreamed of working in Hollywood. And so the fact that he's like so close after 20 years, he's so close and finally be able to,
he could just taste that director's chair. It's right there.
Yeah. I'm surprised he's not, he wants to get into it so bad. I'm surprised he's not jumping into it with the Death Stranding movie here, but maybe he wants to, maybe, or maybe he just wants to kind of like watch, see, because maybe obviously like he's friends with all his directors, but how much is he actually like on a set at a movie? So maybe it's one of those things like, I'll just be involved and be around. Like he just wants to be on set, kind of see how it's done first before he jumps into his own project. Because
I could see that.
I don't know, because I'm sure it's directing a movie's a little different than directing a video game,
Just a hair, just a little bit.
So yeah, there's that. Nothing more to add other than I just thought it was it's been a while since we had a Kojima corner,
Right. You've been itching for one.
Kojima corner.
Huh.
Oh, let me tell you, the new stuff they've revealed about, the new trailer that came out for Metal Gear Solid Delta, and then the new stuff they're revealing about Death Stranding 2, like all of it. I'm so excited right now. Like this is, I don't know, the best timeline for Garrett right now. Like this is great. This is fantastic.
You got that coming. You got Death Stranding 2 coming.
Delta looks amazing. All the Death Stranding 2 stuff. I love how they have an entire like press conference, or not even press conference, like showcase at Tokyo Game Show about Death Stranding 2, and he shows off just the wildest, wackiest stuff, like the photo mode. Did you watch the
photo mode?
It looks so bonkers, crazy, like silly, but also like it's gorgeous. Like
I love that you actually have to like they're like living subjects and you have to shoot them. That is such a great idea, dude.
Like they're actually like moving around like people, like doing different poses. It's like, all right, yeah, it's
that's so awesome.
But graphically too, it was just stunning. Like the character scans in Death Stranding were already like some of the best I've ever seen, and then like
these look like actors.
These look just straight up like actors. It was wild. Well, the first time I saw like it was like just a little GIF of the photo mode, I thought it was just a video of those actors doing, and then when I was like, oh, this is gameplay. What the? And once you really look at it in like a higher res video, it's like okay, it's easy to see, it's easy to tell. But the fact that initially I was fooled at first. I'm like, whoa, dang, this is wild. But yeah, so good. I'm excited. Love Metal Gear. Love Death Stranding. Uncle Gamer in Chat says, I can't keep up with Metal Gear. After Old Snake, I was like, WTH am I? I don't know. What do you mean?
I mean, Old Snake is the end.
Old Snake's the end. Yeah, there's no other games after Metal Gear Solid 4. That was it. That was the last game, so that's it. That is it for the news stories, unless you had some other thing you want to add about Hideo Kojima, but
Yep.
just me.
Love the
It's
guy.
just
Can't wait to see
me.
what he's doing.
It's just me who
Hope he
likes to
makes
talk
it-
about Kojima all the time.
Hope he makes it to Fizzant. I hope he makes it to Fizzant after those other 2 giant games that he's making.
Please. Oh, don't kick the bucket on me, Kojima. Uncle Gamer in the chat.
Mid Fizzant, he just
just kicks it. Uncle Gamer over on YouTube says, isn't there like an MMO or something? After 5, they came out with some weird game called Survive.
we
but,
don't speak of we don't speak of Metal Gear Survive.
like I don't speak of 5, and I really don't ever like that. Survive
Which-
is a game that should not have ever
That
existed.
I will
so
say is a mistake, but I'll let you.
I'm not
I'll
a
let
fan
you
of
go.
5. There's some people who love 5, but not for me. Not for me. Anyways, let's get on with the show because we're at our ad break, and I'm sure Adrian probably has to go take a tinkle. That's usually what he does right now.
Of course, as I do.
It's tinkle time. All right,
Handle
and ad time. So here we go. All right, this is the part of the show where I tell you to go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys. Support us over there starting at just $1 a month. That's right, $1 gets you episodes early and ad-free, such as this show, as well as Patreon, access to our Patreon exclusive shows, such as Super Later Boys and previous seasons of Super Gamer Book Club, as well as a full back catalog of pretty much everything we've ever made, all ad-free. So even though you're obviously not going to get it early anymore, it's already out. But if you want to listen to our stuff ad-free, it's all available on our Patreon from season 1 and season 2 of Super Gamer Book Club, season 1 of Super Dungeon Boys, all of our episodes of this show. Any of our shows, they're over there. So think about it. $1, you get access to everything. If you support us at the $5 a month level, though, boy, oh boy, do you get something fun and exciting. That's right. You get the show notes. So if you want to be get the inside scoop of what we're going to be talking about each and every week, you can support us at $5 a month, and it gets you all the previous perks, all the episodes early and ad-free and everything like that. But also you get to see exactly what we're going to be talking about, news stories, what games we've been playing, because we usually mark it up on the show notes, listener questions. You get to see everything. The doc that I'm using right now currently to run this show, you get to see, and you can leave your own questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, everything regarding anything on there. So if you wanted to mention what you've been playing, what you thought about the game, go ahead and leave a comment in there. If you have a thought about a new story, throw it on there. If you want to answer one of the listener questions, like if you want to answer Ranger's question this week, you could have thrown that on there on the show notes. So think about it. If you want your voice heard here on the show, and maybe you're not able to make it to the live chat or during your streams on Monday or whatnot, then that's the next best thing. $5 a month, you get access to all of that. $10 a month, you could be a Super Gamer sponsor. You get those previous perks and a big old shout out at the top of each and every episode. It's always fun to shout out our Patreon Super Gamer sponsors. And then the next tier, Patreon producers, you also get a shout out. But on top of that, our top dog tier, $15 a month, Patreon producers, get all those other perks we mentioned. The early and ad-free shows, the archive shows, the Patreon exclusive shows. You get the show notes, you get the shout outs, and the ability to pitch us a segment. So if you have an idea for a segment for this show, maybe a segment that's separate, maybe on social media, a TikTok reel, whatever, something fun that we could do, add some flair to the show, and you're like, hey, I think it would be a good idea, I want you to do it, you can support us at $15 a month, Patreon producer tier. You get all the previous perks, and you get that segment, and we'll slap your name on it in some way. We had Kojima's Card Game Corner for a bit. That was a blast to do. Kojima, he produced and edited that all himself and sent it over, and we posted on all of our social media, on our Instagram Reels, TikToks, YouTube Shorts. Back in the day, Adrian had Super Indie Boys, where he would send in segments and talk about new indie games you have to try. It was a fun segment before he joined the show, before he was a co-host with me. So think about supporting us there. If you think you have some good ideas, support us there, throw them our way. And if they are good, we'll run with them. At this point, we've pretty much tried everything we've been pitched, but I do want to give a little, asterisk. We might not use it. I'm sorry. Maybe not. But at this point, we're at a pretty good success rate. About 99% of the things we do. So patreon.com/supergamerboys if you want to be part of our cool club we got over here. What's the next thing on here? I guess I should actually look at the show notes, huh? sgbstore.com. You can support us over there and buy some sweet merch. We got our Summer Gamer Boys collection up there still. Let me tell you, getting a job takes up a lot of time. There's supposed to be maybe some new stuff coming out, but we'll see. We'll see. But at this point, you can still get our Summer Gamer Boys collection.
Other things in your life take precedent. You know,
I'm wearing Summer Gamer Boys right now. Got mine and Adrian's face on the front, and the sunshine and trees on the back. Little Summer Gamer Boys. So you can get this as well as the colorized version, the neon version. We got swim trunks. We got cups. I was gonna say I was drinking out, but I'm not. This isn't our cup. Go check it out. sgbstore.com. We got some sweet stuff. Help support the channel. And last but not least, if you're watching on Twitch, it is September. This is the very last day of September. So if you're watching right now, think about getting a sub or gifting subs. That would be greatly appreciated. But if not, if you don't have cash to throw our way, guess what? If you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime. That's right. You can link your Amazon account to your Twitch account, get one free Prime Gaming sub each and every month that costs you $0. So if you have no bucks to toss our way, you could throw that free sub towards our channel. We still get the same support we would if you sub normally, but it doesn't cost you any money, and you still get all the perks of the ad-free viewing, the access to our emotes, as well as helping support the channel. So think about using that free sub, but if not, if you happen to be watching right now over on Twitch, think about dropping us a sub. It's September, at least until I assume it ends tomorrow since it's October 1st, but maybe not. I know sometimes they go extra time. So either way, thank you all for the support. We appreciate it. Now let's get back to the show. All right, Adrian, it's that time of the show.
What's up, my man?
That time of the show that I love so much because it means I get to hear what games you've been playing. So, Adrian, what you playing?
Well, my good man, it has been a turbulent few days for your boy. And I haven't really done too much gaming, unfortunately, but I did get my new phone.
Ooh.
And it's got a gigantic. I ordered the Max version by mistake.
Oh shoot! Wait, the 16 Max or the Pro Max?
Yeah, the Pro Max.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's gigantic. It's basically a 7-inch screen. So
you just have like a Nintendo Switch in your pocket. Just
it's bigger than the Switch. The original Switch was only 6.2, so it's bigger than a Switch screen. But
so with the backbone on there, it literally is the size of a Switch, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. Speaking of, I do have an Apple Arcade subscription that I feel like I should be taking advantage of.
But now you better be, yeah.
Yeah, now. So I definitely will be doing that and seeing what they have in there, and then I'll report back. There might be some gems in there that we're not talking about. You never know.
Or now that you have such a big screen and a more
Stranding.
That's what I was thinking. Bigger screen and a more powerful processor. It'd be able to play Death Stranding even better. Man,
these are all options. So I will keep you posted.
I am jealous. I might need to come up just to play Death Stranding on your phone.
You're gonna fly all the way up here.
Fly all the way up there.
You're gonna leave your PC with Death Stranding Director's Cut. Playing all beautiful at 1440 just to play it on 720, maybe if it hits that at barely 30.
Hey,
yeah,
you know what?
That's a solid trade-off.
I would do anything for Death Stranding. Let me tell you, I would. I would do anything.
But yeah, man, sorry to disappoint, but I'll keep you posted. But how about yourself? What you been up to?
All right. So last week I'd finished Astrobot. What's going up? Yes. Last week I finished Astrobot, and I was towards the end of Space Marine 2. I am happy to announce I finished Space Marine 2. Let me tell you, that game is absolutely phenomenal. You hit the nail on the head last week. It's a Gears of War gameplay. which is great, by the way. Like that's not a.
I was gonna say that. I didn't say that as a dig. I was just trying to liken it to something.
I just wanted to clarify because I felt like my tone of voice made it sound negative, but that's not a bad thing. That's great. It's like very smooth Gears of War combat. Great game, fantastic. So graphics, combat, soundtrack, everything rocks. But from like a 40K lore nerd like myself, like I love, like I've been in that world since I was I've been in that world since I was like 13 years old, 12 years old. I don't know. I've been in the 40K world for a long time. I just so appreciated how much they just packed into this game. Like they were not afraid to get nerdy in so many ways without it feeling too overwhelming for new players. Like I love how they made it in a way where it's like as a new player you could get through it and somewhat understand what was going on and learn stuff, you know, and really have fun with it. Like, all right, get the gist of the story. But then for those people who are way in the weeds like me, who read the rule books for the board game, the 200-page rule books and all the lore and pictures and everything and all this stuff, I just love it so much. Like to get into the end of the game and like the Easter eggs that are in those last couple missions you do, totally teasing and setting up potential DLC / sequels in the future. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's like as soon as you get there, it's like, oh, this isn't what they're saying it is. And it's one of those things where like if you don't know the lore, the way the characters are talking make it just seem like, oh, this is just a bunch of random junk. But knowing the lore and like seeing the stuff, I'm like, oh no, these people have no idea. The characters, I mean, the characters you're playing is like, oh shoot, like they don't know, they don't realize what they're walking into. And obviously by the end of the game, like unfortunately the thing that I was hoping for doesn't happen, but it just gets me so excited for like potential DLC because they've already announced, from what I can, because at least I hope there's DLC, because there's a season pass that I got with my copy, and I know with other copies. So there's a season pass, so I assume there's gonna be DLC. I hope they don't hold it for a sequel, but I hope we get something, because yeah, it is such a gorgeous game, fun to play, and just lore wise is so much fun. Loved it. So highly recommend Space Marine 2, whether you're into Warhammer or not. Go check it out. It's a fun one. But this is going to surprise everyone, or maybe not anyone, because I can't remember, was it before the show or was it during the show last week that I told you about my purchases? I don't remember.
It was
it might have been before the show. I think it
was during.
Was it during? Okay.
I think
last week, I can't remember, but last week I might have mentioned during the show that I pulled the trigger and bought the Yakuza collection because it was dirt cheap for like 40 or 50 bucks. I got Yakuza 0 all the way up through 5 or 6, all the remastered editions. So like Kiwami 2, Yakuza 3, 4, 5, 6, all in their remastered states and remake states as well. And let me tell you, I didn't think I would touch this in a long time, but because the internet was down, I couldn't go back to Astrobot to Platinum. I jumped in to Yakuza 0. The beginning of it all. And let me tell you, right away, I was enjoying it. This game is just bonkers, crazy, fun, wild. I've only put like maybe an hour into it, if that, like not a ton of time, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm excited to get more into that. I also played more Elden Ring. That's a total side note, but that's nothing. I have nothing new to mention.
You can mention it.
I'll mention it. I have nothing new to report because I'm starting a fresh save from Elden Ring. So it's all stuff I've played before, but it plays phenomenally well on Steam Deck. I think I already said that last week. But anyways, back to Yakuza 0. I like played a little Elden Ring. I'm like, I want to try something. I want to start something new. So I jumped into Yakuza, and that also runs extremely well on Steam Deck. I'm getting like 90 FPS and the graphics look phenomenal. Like I'm able to play on like high to ultra on there, which is great. So Yakuza, not a series I've ever played before, but a series I've heard so much about. I'm very excited to get into. So stay tuned for possibly some new Yakuza updates in the future.
Please keep me posted. I'd love to hear your thoughts going forward.
Heck yeah. That's it. That's all I've been playing. So with that, that's the end of our show. So I want to give a big old shout out, say thank you to all of you who've been watching live on Monday night here. If you're live on YouTube or over on Twitch, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you very much. If you're catching it later tonight or tomorrow on Patreon before everyone else, thank you so much. You're the bee's knees. Or if you're listening later on podcast apps or watching on YouTube on Wednesday with everyone else, the rest of the world, thank you as well. We appreciate you. You guys are all fantastic, all incredible. We couldn't do it without you. And in that same vein, if you really do want to help us continue making stuff, support, this thing costs money, hosting fees and also keeping up with games, buying games and equipment to be able to continue to make cool content for you guys. Think about supporting us over at patreon.com/supergamerboys. We'd very much appreciate it. We just got a new supporter this last week. I'm excited about. You'll see their name in the show description. Because that's something I always forget to mention too, I guess, during our ad. At the $5 and above perk, you also get your name in the show description as a supporter. So this is a $5 supporter. I'll be adding that to the show description. So check that out if you want to. You want to help support the show. Patreon.com/supergamerboys. We'd very, very, very much appreciate it. SGBstore.com. Buy some sweet merch. I already talked about that a little bit ago. T-shirts, shorts, hoodies,
the whole nine
yards, stickers, whatever you want. We pretty much got everything over there. We got hats, a lot of fun stuff. I love it. I wear my stuff all the time. I wear my hat. I got a crew neck sweatshirt that I love. My T-shirts. Trust me, if it wasn't good merch, I wouldn't wear it, but I wear it. So it must be good. All right, at least, it's comfy. Right. I'll give it that. It's very comfortable stuff. I love it. Review us where you can. You can review us over on iTunes, or if you're listening on Spotify, 5 stars would be fantastic. Leave a little review. We'd appreciate it. It's fun to see, fun to read. Shout out to Jack, Sriracha, Yate, and DJ Trooz for allowing us to use their music tonight. We've been listening to Jack, Sriracha, and Yate. Go give them a listen over on Apple Music and Spotify. You can find us during the week over at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. I am on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can the fine folks find you at?
You can find me any and everywhere at Homeboy. That's HOLMBOI.
Heck yeah. And with that, I'm done. So, Adrian, would you mind taking us out?
I would not at all. Folks, thank you for hanging out with us for another episode of the Super Gamer Boys podcast. As always, we appreciate any and all forms of support, as Garrett had mentioned, whether it's just hanging out with us here on the live podcast, watching the VOD, listening to the audio, jumping in the Discord, or telling a friend about us. It's all appreciated, and it all helps us to continue to grow, keep the lights on, and do what we love to do. That's playing video games, talking about them, and hanging out with you guys. That'll do it for us for this week. But remember, take care of yourself. Don't forget to tell people what's going up. And as always, we are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we'll catch you on the flippity flop.
I think what's going up is a thing, man. I think it sticks. I think we got to start doing it. We got to start integrating it.
I actually really like it. I'm not going to lie.
See? You're welcome.